I'm a music teacher and indie video game music composer, and today I am listening to the Doom 1993 original soundtrack for the very first time. Yes, I've heard bits and pieces of this, but I've never listened to the whole thing, and certainly not all in one go. So today, we're going to uncover hidden connections, understand how music works, and we're going to have some fun along the way. Let's get started rocking and rolling with E1M1. Let me know how the music levels are, chat. Thank you. Absolutely incredible. Now, we have Astro Wolf 2004 says in the chat that this was based off of No Remorse by Metallica. I'm actually hearing Master of Puppets, where it goes to the... I don't even know how to play on the tip of my brain that I'm not thinking of. Oh, you say you can't hear me. All right, we'll see if we can fix that. Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that better now? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Let me know if that's coming through a little bit better on your end. Type a 2 in the chat if you're reading me loud and clear. So we have. Now we have a question: Is that a Locrian mode? No, that is not a Locrian mode. At least not how it's presented. A Locrian mode, and that's a question from the chat, by the way. A Locrian mode is one of the characteristics of it is it would have a flat 2. We hear that F. However, what we do here, right there, we hear a flat 5, aka the tritone, aka we used to call it the, demonic interval until that got largely disproven and whatever, it was a fun talking point. But hey, 2026, we can just call that extra levels of friction. Musical friction. We hear that note right there. Because if we play without it, it's going to sound a lot, well... It still sounds cool, but it doesn't quite have that same threatening feeling to it as it does this. Right there. Right there. And it's that flat 5 that really brings out the threatening aspect of this first E1M1 at Doom's Gate from this Doom soundtrack. It's like, man, there's some part of some Metallica song, and again, I might be wrong. I was thinking Master of Puppets, but, it's been a while since I listened through all my Metallica albums. Awesome stuff. Thanks for the shout out there. And let's keep rocking here with our next one, which is going to be the Imps song. As in Stormtroopers, perhaps. Who knows? This is wild. Heavier each time it goes around. Okay, so the Imp song, and actually directionally also E1M1s, is not just influenced by metal, it's also influenced by the blues. Well, I mean, technically speaking, metal is influenced by the blues. Why and how? Well, okay, first off, we can hear that in the Imp song, we clearly have a blues chord progression being played out. We're in the key of F sharp, something. Is it major? Is it minor? We're gonna keep you guessing. It's F sharp something. And then we're on a 1 chord for a substantial amount of time. Then we go to a 4 chord. Then we go back to a 1 chord. Then we go to a 5 chord. Then we go to a 4 chord, then a 1 chord, then a 5 chord. This is a classic blues chord progression that we're hearing in the Imp song, but it's done up all heavy-like. Ya dig? Now, we also can hear the influence going back to At Doom's Gate. It's not quite as a fastball down the middle in terms of relating to the blues, but we can trace the blues through rock and through metal. How and why? Well, if we listen to At Doom's Gate, we can hear that there's this. Yeah, it goes to the 4. We have the 1, and then it goes to the 4, which is what we have right here. This is part of the classic things that makes the blues the blues. We have the 1, and then the 1, let's actually color the 1 green, actually. All right, so we have the 1 here. And let me show you this super clearly here so you can track along with me. Boom, there we go. All right, so we have the 1 here for, typically 4 measures, but here we're gonna break the rules of how long it goes for, and it's really dependent on how long the riff's gonna go for. And then we go to the 4. So we know we have this 1 to 4 relationship. This is a hallmark telltale sign that we're drawing from the influence of the blues. Why? You have a riff, you have an idea, and then you take it to the 4. This is the, you know. Here's the 1, 4. It's a 1 to a 4, but it's presented, again, all heavy-like. Distorted guitars, a metal riff, we've got tritones. It's this, you know, clearly Vinnie Moore metal guitar direction thing. And I say Vinnie Moore because this is what, 1993. So sure, you had Kill 'Em All out already, if I'm not mistaken. Metallica's got a couple albums out. You've got, I mean, at 1993, you probably got some Pantera rockin', maybe some Slayer, maybe some Alice in Chains. So you've got heavy sounding stuff out there, but if you want to go back and really find the root of some metal sounding guitar, you got to look at a guy called Vinnie Moore, M-O-O-R-E. First name Vinnie. So that 1 to 4 relationship, we've seen that in 2 out of 2 tracks, and that actually brings us back to the blues, back to rock. And let's keep rocking and see what we have next with Dark Halls. crazy thing too is that it's not just looping. So like we think back to 1993, we've got these classic soundtracks coming out like Sonic, like Mario. And while we do have a progression with at least Mario, I know for sure that, you run out of time, it starts playing at double speed. The build we have here across 4 minutes and 30 seconds, where it's not just a loop, there's things getting added. It's not a flat line in terms of when it repeats. No, it repeats and it scales up as it goes. All right, a couple more connections to the blues here found in E1 and 3 dark halls. If we look at the riff itself that's being played, this right here, we have the major third to the minor third, and it's the mixing of the major and minor thirds that is one of the hallmarks of the blues, much like the 1 to the 4 movement. So we have another hallmark of the blues showing up here. Now, in addition to that, what's pretty cool is there's a third note added into the mix when we hear that flat 3. And it's this note right here. And by adding this note in here, this actually creates an implied 4 chord, which, as you know, was our first hallmark of the blues, 1 to 4. So it's actually a hallmark Russian nesting doll of bluesy metal goodness, where we have this 3 to flat 3, a hallmark of the blues, but within that flat 3 is also a 1 to 4 movement that's being implied here, with the guide tones, aka the relative to the 4. We have the 3rd and the 7th scale degrees, and then also that E flat, then we could think about that actually as being the 5th, the 4th. Now, what we hear is it does go to a 5, but if I'm not mistaken, it actually goes from a 5 to what we call a backdoor dominant. I'm going to double check my work here. Yeah, so we have the so instead of going from 5 to 1, which is a movement of the dominant being 5 back to the 1, we're actually going from flat 7, from 5 to flat 7 to 1. And the flat 7 it does function as a dominant in a way, and we often call it the backdoor dominant because it's not really dominant, but it functions in a way to push us back to 1 in the same way a dominant would, which is why we then call it a backdoor dominant. Hey, if you want to, I'm not even talking about it. If you're a composer and you want to write your own music, I actually made something for you. If you're finding all this useful, you're like, man, I could use this to write so much. Well, I've actually made a composer roadmap for you. See it right here. And it's in the video description in the link. And what it is, it's every single level of composing music that I've done for myself, and I've also helped clients go through this for composing music, composing video game music. And at every level, there's certain things that get you stuck, and there's certain things you need to do to unlock yourself and get to the next level. And then at that next level, there's certain things that get you stuck, and certain things to unlock you to get you to the next level. And so I've identified a whole bunch of things, the constraints that are going to block you at each level, and then the fixes for it. And I've actually created a fully interactive thing. You go click on the link, and you answer a couple questions, and bada bing, bada boom, it'll actually send you the perfect, PDF for exactly the level that you're at right now, what you need to do to graduate, and the next level, and what you need to graduate after that. And it's my gift to you. You can go ahead and check that out. And after you grab that, if you want some help taking your music to the next level, like you want some help walking through this, you can book a call with my team on the next page, and we'll be happy to talk to you and see if we'd be a fit to work together. But yeah, made it free for you. Go ahead and grab it. No obligation to work with me. It's totally free. And again, if you want some help walking through it, we're available for you. All right, let's keep rocking here with Kitchen Ace. To the 4. One to the 4. Oh, they're going somewhere different. By Pantera, like, I've heard this record before, so. Oh, I just got the title, Kitchen Ace and Taking Names. Get it now. Took me a minute. And, all right, really, again, a fascinating piece of music where we have this ideas. I'm playing it wrong, am I? Right, so with this idea of but then afterwards, just like which is like not that threatening of a sound. Why? Because we have what we think, like, I'm listening to this. I'm thinking of this as it being like we could think of it, all right, there's a couple different ways we can think about this. We can think about this as being in C sharp or D flat Phrygian because we have this 1, flat 7 to 1, 2, flat 2. We could think about it, yeah, because I'm really thinking about this as being like a 5th down. It really would be the 4th, actually. So it's like, well, okay, maybe we're in the key of B. Actually, it's we're doing 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, flat 3, 2, 1. That's another way of thinking about it. And neither way is right or wrong. It just pick a way to think about it, and then just keep thinking about it that way until it makes sense to you. That's the whole point of music theory, by the way. It's to give you patterns to make sense of what you're hearing. And if you're 100% correct about the pattern you're using, I actually have become less and less strict It's like if you have a pattern with yourself that makes sense, great, good, run with it. But what's happening here is if we think about this as being in F sharp, which would then make it 5, 5, 5, 5, flat 6, 5, 4. When we have this, that's the major third of F. And the first thing we hear is this is an F major triad. We have, I mean, it's the voicing it's not a closed voicing. It certainly is open and spread out. But we have this 1, 5, and then 3 up an octave, and then it goes to the 4 and the 2. Again, both in the key of F sharp major. And here is where it's no longer the key of F sharp major. We do get the 4, scale degree 4, from F sharp major, but it's combined with that flat 6, almost creating a minor plagal sound. It's really fascinating. There's so many different ways you could chop this up, but really, really, really cool. All right, and by the way, if you have questions about the game or about the music, put them in the chat. I'm really happy to answer, especially when we're on a smaller stream like this. Like, let me know what your questions are, and I will make sure they get answered. All right, let's keep this a rockin' with Suspense. Build it up. Come on, please build it up. Yes. Wow. 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 All right. So I was doing a little bit of research before this stream a little earlier today, and I did a quick search, and I was like, okay, what makes this soundtrack so culturally relevant, so groundbreaking that it actually this year got like recorded, inducted into the Library of Congress? Like, what is it about this soundtrack that is just so monumental? And one of the things I was reading was talking about how, you know, modern game soundtracks didn't sound like this until this came along. This was the Jimi Hendrix. This was the Henry Ford. It's like there's a person who comes along who just pivots the whole thing. And what we just heard, there's so many things I could talk about in this, but there's one particular part I want to pick out of this that is going to serve the point, which is this idea right here. Hold up. Which goes throughout most of this track, suspense. Building suspense with an ostinato figure. Ostinato is just a fancy music term that means it's going to repeat so much you could call it stubborn. So if I sat here and I was like, pineapple, you're like, okay. And I was like, pineapple. You're like, all right, I hear that you're saying pineapple. And then again, I say pineapple. And you said, hey, Dan, stop saying pineapple. And I looked you dead in the eye and I said, pineapple again. And you said, all right, this is not funny anymore, stop it. And I said, pineapple. I'd said pineapple so many times you could describe me as being stubborn because you told me to stop and I kept saying pineapple. So if a piece of music repeats something over and over again so much that you could call it stubborn if it was a person, we call that ostinato. And this ostinato figure here, the number of video game music soundtracks that we have listened to on this channel that have some type of boss fight, some type of conflict, and use a similar figure to this. Sometimes it's a different order, but it's these same notes. It's the 1, 2, and flat 3. And hearing it here in 1993, like well before One Wing Angel, and I don't think it was One Wing Angel. It was a track before One Wing Angel, specifically that I'm thinking of, that used something like this, where there's so many. I mean, I'm not going to think of them off the top of my head right now, but there's so many soundtracks that use this idea. All these combinations of 1, 2, and flat 3, and I'm wondering if we could trace this all the way back to suspense. So cool. What a classic piece and classic roots. One of my favorite things to do, just a music nerd tangent here. One of my favorite things to do is to find the oldest instance of an idea. Recorded, right? Because it might have been around before that, but oldest instance of an idea. Not that you can't find this in classical music. I'm very confident you can. I am 99.9% confident you could find this exact figure in classical music. But not in a video game, and not creating suspense in a video game, and not creating a feeling of threat in a video game. Now, there might be some, if you really know your stuff and you know your old video game soundtracks, you might be able to find an older version. If you do, please put it in the comments because I'd love to learn along with everyone else. But as of right now, this is my oldest in terms of the time scale of time that I've encountered this here fellow. Really cool stuff. All right, let's check out the next one, which is On the Hunt. Also, I'd love you guys' tips in the chat and in the comments. What's the best way to play Doom these days? I actually want to play this game. What's the best way to play this game? 2026. I have a Switch. I've got an Xbox. I know this one. I know this one. All right, so I know this because I listened to this as part of my research for my new book. It's called Compose Legendary Video Game Music. It's out on Amazon now if you're interested in checking it out. Didn't end up including it in the book, I think, or maybe we did. Anyway, point is, what we have here is, again, a blues. To the 4. To the 1. To the 5. To the 4. To the 1. And you might be saying, well, okay, how does that even work? Well, I also did in my research. It was Robert Prince actually played in an R&B band back in the day. So he's playing rhythm and blues. So highly likely he was familiar with the blues form from possibly playing some blues. In fact, still to this day, if you go to a jam at like a biker bar in New Jersey, a lot of times you're going to be playing a blues. It's a tremendously accessible thing. Everyone knows the form. You jump in, you riff, you have a great time. So we can see the blues form here, but again, making it heavy by using notes from Phrygian, but with a major third, Phrygian major. So the notes we'd look at here, we'd have a 1, a flat 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and then, yeah, was there a flat 6? Perhaps. Was there a flat 7? Perhaps. But I'm just looking really at this pentachord being the fancy word for a group of 5 notes. I'm looking at this pentachord, which is a Phrygian major pentachord. Beautiful stuff. Let's keep it rocking. Yes, I did hear that he passed away. Rest in peace. Thank you, Merc Lazarus, for the reminder. Yes, I did see that. And it was recent, too. Rest in peace, Bobby, and thanks for all the music. All right, let's check out Demons on the Something. Sounds like a movie. Wow. Totally different from everything we've heard before, and still call back to that blues rock, well, to the metal, if we're gonna go back in time, metal rock blues idea of starting on the 1 and then going to the 4. Really interesting stuff there, especially with that timpani drum going on. That sounded like something that could have gone in like a Final Fantasy. Wasn't the Final Fantasy 1 or 2 was 1995, was it? Was Final Fantasy 2 1995? Anyway, let's check out Sign of Evil. Also, long soundtrack for 1993. Thoroughly enjoyed this remix. So what did we have? We had key of what sounded to me like it started off as a 4-1, but might have been a flat 6-1. Let's say I'm imagining an F, and it wouldn't be the first time that I hallucinated an F. Welcome to music. Now, what we can hear once that awesome guitar comes in is we hear a flat 6 to 1 minor. This also, chord progression we've heard all over the place in terms of soundtracks. We're in the key of C minor. We have the flat 6 being A flat. and then to the 1 here. Now, the flat 6 to the 1 is, in terms of relationships, it's not a 4 to a 1, but the flat 6 does serve a plagal function if we consider the amount, like subdominant function. If we think about the notes that are in flat 6 versus a 4. So check this out. In the key of C minor, the notes in the 1 are going to be, there we go. So we got C minor, there's going to be C, E flat, and G. Now the notes in the 4 is going to be F minor. So we got our F minor here, and we've got our F, put it up here, F, C, F A, I'm getting ahead of myself, F A flat, and C. Now the notes in the flat 6, which is A flat major, we have the notes of A flat, C, and E flat. So we can see that there's actually 2 notes common between F minor and A flat major, and for that reason it can serve the same function. And the function is to create a feeling of there being some tension. Not a whole lot of tension, but enough tension that it sounds and feels good, to use a reductive term, when it goes to the tonic area here at the 1. And there's really 3 fundamental areas. We could call these harmonic function areas, areas of harmonic function. We have the tonic, this is our home base. We have the subdominant, this is where we have some tension. Then we have the dominant, where we have the most tension. The tonic, this is your home base. This is your safe at home. The subdominant, this is like you went out on an adventure into the world and you saw some things, and well, while the world's great and most people are awesome, there is some danger out in the world. So you had some mild danger. It was rated PG for mild danger. That's an American film rating. If you don't know, if we have different ways of rating our films over here, if you're watching from overseas. And PG, you'd probably let a kid watch it, but there would be some danger in there, where, you know, someone might be, you know, hanging off a cliff for a couple seconds or something like that before they get rescued. Now, dominant, this is the big boss fight. Here's our boss, evil robot, who has come to own everything, and he's got little robot claws. He has little robot claws, and he's got 3 legs, because he's, you know, he's a robot. And the dominant area has the most tension in it. And I'll point these out to you if we see a subdominant, dominant, and tonic as we go through. But just to bring us back a moment and think about what the blues is at a fundamental level, the blues has all 3 parts. It has the tonic here, which is the 1. It has a subdominant here, which is the 4, back to the tonic here with the 1. And it goes dominant to the 5, to the 4, subdominant to the 1, which is tonic, then to the 5, which is the dominant. So you can see that a blues has contained within it a full journey of safety, boss fights, mild danger. It's like a great game. One of the reasons why the blues is still so awesome today. It's not the only reason, but it is a contributing factor, I would argue. Okay. Now I'm going to look over. We have the official OST here, and we'll jump over to hiding the something. Hiding the secrets. Oops, I just clicked the wrong button. Hiding. Nobody told me about the hiding the secrets. Yeah, yeah. Hiding the secrets, there we go. Is that better, chat? Type a 2 if that's better. Oh, wow. What a ton of fun hiding the secrets. Also, we have a classic Pareto distribution split here where we have 65% of you voting to stay with the Bobby Prince channel, 35% of you saying to go with what we started with. I'm going to leave that poll open. If I see it flip the other way, we will go the other way. So if you know any friends or, want to post in Discord or Reddit and let people know about this stream and maybe they come check it out and, maybe get some more viewers and some more likes along the way. Who knows? But, get more votes. Get more people. Or, there you go. All right. Now, the interesting thing, Fuchsia Tude says, this isn't how it originally sounded at the time. Now, in my research I did, it turns out that depending on the sound configuration you had on your PC, the soundtrack would actually sound different. So it was originally created using some type of Roland device. And if you had that like tier or level of sound card or sound chip, I don't know how old computers worked. Transparently, between you and me. I know how the new stuff works. I don't know how the old stuff worked. If you had a sound card that would be able to produce these sounds, it would sound like this. But because it was MIDI, it would actually take advantage of whatever sound fonts, essentially, you had on your machine that would then translate the MIDI through to you. So if you had not these sounds, it actually wouldn't sound like this. So some people had a different experience of the soundtrack compared to what we're listening to now because they actually didn't hear it with the full Roland. They heard it more as chiptune. Yeah, which is really fascinating and also a testament to the fact that, like, considering you're working on PCs. I don't know if you were alive in 1993. I was born in 1991. I wasn't working on computers. I remember Windows 98, 97. I remember Windows 2000. And even those were like, bro, a little clunky. A little clunky. So I can only imagine what your computer was like if you were using a computer in 1993. I was not. I was 2. But if you were using a computer in 1993, I can only imagine what your setup might have been and what this soundtrack might have sounded like depending on what your setup was. Really, really, really cool stuff. All right. Yeah, on the Roland SC55. Thank you, Sheer Speech Craft, keeping us on track today with the historically, I believe that is what I read earlier today, accurate model details of the Roland. Yes, and May and else, this was the evolution of sequence music, going from hard-coded music that needed to work with specialized sound chips on consoles to data-driven stuff like this. Yes, the birth of digital music and gaming. Yeah, the birth of digital music specifically in PC gaming too. Think about that as well, right? So we can think about, the Super NES, as I call it, the SNES, and because I grew up without, it's going to sound really sad, because I grew up without any friends who had consoles like that. It's not that I had friends, I didn't grow up with any friends who had consoles like that. I just realized how sad that was going to sound before I said it. My first experience gaming was with the Super NES Nintendo, or as I called it, the SNES, because I didn't have anyone to correct me and say it's called the SNES. If you hear me say SNES, that's just old habits. The sounds on those were like just the difference between, let's say, like a Star Fox game versus the Super Mario World soundtrack. It's like, those are some different sounding sounds, bro. Like, there's some serious range that those composers managed to cook out of that technology. All right, let's keep it. Yeah, the classic Doom modding community still use. This is Nader18 says the classic Doom modding community still uses MIDI music for maps nowadays, even though the modern version of the game can play MP3 files just because it's what everyone used to. That's beautiful. This is cool. All right, let's keep it going. 4, here goes the flat 3. Oh, cool. Flat 7. Excellent. Oh, that is so cool. This is so cool. This is radically cool, by the way. This is radical. To the 5. Wow. Oh my goodness. So much to talk about here. Let me get you a fully color-coded vibe here to track along with this explanation. This, by the way, this is insane. Like, how many soundtracks have we heard that do directionally something like this? Like, absolute madness. All right, so we're going to call this a proper A section and then a proper B section here too. A, B. All right, so check this out. In, what did we just listen to? The End of Doom, I think it was. All right, so in the End of Doom, we have two sections, an A and a B section. In the A section, the harmonic rhythm is, the way I'm counting it, we have one chord every 8 measures. The one chord lasts for 8 measures, then it goes to the 3 chord, the flat 3 minor chord, for 8 measures, then back to the 1 for 8 measures. And this 1, flat 3, 1, this flat 3 here is the same vibe as going to the 4 in a blues, like we also hear throughout the Doom soundtrack. Then in the B section, the rhythmic, harmonic rhythm, we speeds up by whatever. We go to 25% of what we were at before. So we now have one chord every 2 measures, and it's the flat 7 backdoor dominant to the 1 3 times. Fois trois. And then we get a classic subdominant to dominant movement here with the 4 to the 5, which also gives us the magic 3 to 1. So here's 3, here's our 1 ratio that we hear everywhere in music, from video game music to pop music to rock music and everywhere else. A really interesting chord progression because we have this push-pull here of this 4 to 5, which turns us back around, which brings us back to this 1 here, giving us a fully self-contained idea. Now, something else interesting too about this is the riff that's being used. We have this. Really fascinating riff. Really fascinating riff, which, I mean, reminds me of some stuff out of, I mean, even as recently as Silk Song. There was some vibes like that in Silk Song. And I'm not saying Silk Song was influenced by Doom, but like, Pretty cool stuff, man. Really, really cool stuff. All right, let's keep it cooking with I Sawed the Demons. My. Now this is Metallica, Master of Puppets. This is Master of Puppets. To the 4. 1 to the 4. To flat, so back to 1. Yeah. Every time around it builds. Wow. Okay. So, let's talk about Master of Puppets. So Master of Puppets, there's a part that goes, and I'm gonna play this pretty badly, so rock with me here. And that part right there, yeah, obviously playing that at super slow speed, but that right there. Type a two in the chat if you can hear the similarity. Yeah. That is about it. That is Master of Puppets vibe. Obviously, I played it slow, and I used alternate picking instead of all down picking. I'll tell you, one time I attempted to get myself, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take 3 months. I'm gonna get my down picking to be as fast as Lars Ulrich of Metallica. And it like did not happen. It's like, how do you just down pick that fast, bro? How does that work? So yeah, there you go. So I Sawed the Demons. Now, could you sue for copyright infringement on that? No. In modern day Metallica, might they have at the height of Lars Ulrich's, sorry, Lars Ulrich's the drummer. What am I saying? James Hetfield. Bro. Goodness. Someone is going to get through the first part of that explanation, realize I said the wrong name, and be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And then some of you very kind, patient people will continue watching and see that I did correct the error. James Hetfield downpicking. When Lars Ulrich, or Ulrich, however you want to say it, was doing all his legal stuff, yeah, It might have been on the chopping block. That's pretty close. It is walking a fine line. Part of the research I did today turns out that Bobby Prince actually had experience as a lawyer, and so did some research into copyright law and was attempting to literally thread the needle on sounding like these bands that we've been referencing throughout this soundtrack without actually infringing on their copyright. So it is a delicate game that he's playing, where it is close. It is close. Yeah, Sheer Speechcraft says, surprising there never was a lawsuit, and I agree, that is surprising. Okay, let's keep it cooking. All right, so the demons from Adrian's pen. Again, it builds through the whole piece. It doesn't just loop like, some other soundtracks from 1993. But neither good nor bad, just different. Now, we hear it starts off with this arpeggiated idea. Come on, Dan. It's going to be our ostinato idea. Ostinato means it repeats so much. You could call it stubborn. If it was a person, it repeated themselves so much, like, bro, you are stubborn. Repeat so much, you call it stubborn. And then on top of that, it's this really interesting idea. Ooh, fifths. Six, flat six. Tritone. Which, by the way, if you look at those two things together, I'm telling you, we've heard these exact things in combination, like that type of tritone move thing. We've heard that in at least 4 or 5 other OSTs. I mean, really cool stuff. I just feel like I'm meeting an old friend with this soundtrack because we've heard so many elements of this out in other OSTs. Taking inspiration from this, maybe, but sometimes just an idea gets out in the air and you end up doing it too. Really, really cool stuff. What do I mean that an idea gets out in the air? Well, what I mean is you can see throughout history that you have inventions of technology that happen independently around the same time in different groups in different parts of the world. And music's no different. You can have a music idea and someone else also has the music idea. And you'll see pop songs all come out at the same time with a similar vibe and feel. Now, one of that is you have a lot of the same writers, but also you have this group of people that are sort of tuned into the energy of what's next. And I know that sounds a little woo-woo, but gosh, do you have a better explanation? I don't yet, and I've been thinking about this for some time. Let's check out Intermission from Doom. Drum break, okay. A little disco with a little double pedal. All right, so if we look at this riff, we got this. Bro, I just heard it. I think I'm gonna need to get some water in a second. So we have And then it goes to, come on now. Goes to the flat 3 again, like we saw in, what was that? I Saw the Demons in the End of Doom, going to the flat 3 instead of the 4. Yes, a more metal move in this case, but still creating that same shift, that same blues essence, but with a different chord now. Is it blues anymore, or is it metal? Well, certainly I'd call it a nod to the blues, the way that it's done. Anytime you stay in a area for a long time in terms of having a certain chord last, and then you have this shift, and then you go boom somewhere else, and you keep about the same riff, but you're up a half step, a whole step, a minor third, major third, a perfect fourth. All of that, at least to my ear, calls back to the blues. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick 3-minute break. My AC is not working. I don't know if you can see this. I'm actually starting to sweat. I'm going to grab some water, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to take a quick intermission here so that I don't faint on you in the middle of this stream. All right, be right back. Here we go, intermission. Man, I'll tell you, I did not have the air conditioner on, and it is at least 90 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And it was like, I was getting hot. Like, I know I'm getting hot when I'm like losing my ability to think. Also, often that's dehydration. All right, let's check out this next one. Oh, perfect timing. We just did intermission, I believe. Perfect. All right, They're Going to Get You. Let's check it out. right, well, here's 2 reasons why they're going to get you is a creepy stalker blues and the Doom soundtrack. If we look at the bass line clearly takes us from a 1 chord to a 4 chord, just like a blues. But what makes it creepy stalker? Well, it's the melody, but also this bass line. It goes to the 4, same pattern. And so what we're hearing a 1 to a flat 2, to a 1, to a 7, to a 1, to a 4. And it's those half step that sounds so creepy and so I'm about to be snatched. Yeah. Also, Jaws. Yeah. Okay, we got the shout out to. I'm not gonna say that. That's a fantastic title you have there, but I'm not gonna say that on the stream. It ends with 5054. Yeah, Jaws. Yeah. This is creepy times at the OK Corral. Let's check out Sinister. This reminds me of the Mick Gordon Doom soundtracks. To the 4. To the 4, boys. Let's take it to the 4. Flat 7 to 1, back row dominant. Flat 7. Which, by the way, if you're counting, is the same exact B section that we heard previously. So the B section for Sinister is, I don't even remember what the name of that track was that we did the analysis on there. It was the End of Doom, I think it was. So the End of Doom and Sinister actually share the same B section chord progression. Yeah, it's different keys. The End of Doom's in C minor, Sinister was in E flat minor. a minor third apart. But that same B section came back here exactly the same. It's flat 7 to 1, flat 7 to 1, flat 7 to 1, 4 to 5. Same exact chord progression. How's that for a connection hidden away in this Doom soundtrack? It wasn't hidden. It was there for anyone to find it. Yeah, well, okay. Allow me my marketing speak. It makes me happy. All right, let's check out Waltz of the Demons. Oh, no way. This is like Uematsu vibes. This is crazy. Wow. Xylophone, piccolo. Going to the 4, where else we're gonna go? I think that's a 4. Wow. Wow. What a vibe. So yeah, it was technically a waltz. It was in 3/4, but like that right there. What is that piece of classical music and who wrote it? Who did that? Whose was that? Anyway, like legitimate orchestral vibes going on in this Waltz of the Demons here with timpani, xylophone, piccolo, as far as what I would call that high aerophone sounding instrument. Aerophone is a fancy music word for an instrument that's powered by air. You blow air into it or you get air into it. But yeah, the first time I heard that honestly, I was surprised because that was really, truly, honestly, an orchestral moment in what heretofore has been a darker soundtrack that didn't use orchestra. Now, you listen to orchestral scores now, like you go listen to, Diablo or whatever, and you're going to hear some dark orchestra. But this was different in the sense that I don't think I'd heard orchestra like this. This soundtrack's totally unique, man. It's like, there's so many different ways I could go about talking about it, but it's like, let's just simplify it. This is so different. This is so unique. This is so cool. Love it. Nobody told me about ID or id or ego, id. Well, it's not ID capitalized, so maybe id isn't like the id and the ego and the superego or the observing consciousness. Who knows? All right, so let's talk about the effect that you just experienced by the end of No One Told Me About Id, which is that we have two instruments that are panning from left to right as one instrument pans from right to left. So they both get to opposite ends at the same time, and then they cross back and forth like this. So how does that happen? Well, if you have two pairs of headphones, well, if you have a pair of headphones on, you've got two speakers. Or if you have two speakers in front of you, if you have a single speaker in front of you, which means it's going to go to mono, you will not hear this effect in the same way. What this effect does, it actually creates a hallucination in your brain. What's the hallucination? Well, the hallucination is if I have two channels of sound, aka earphone 1 and earphone 2, or headphone 1, headphone 2, or AirPod 1 and AirPod 2, or Sally and Jim, as you may call your headphones. I'm not one to judge. What we hear is if we want to make it sound like the sound's coming from over here, we're going to put more sound in this channel and less sound in this channel, and that's going to create the effect of it feels like the sound's coming from over here. Why? Because that's the way our ears hear things. We got one on one side of the head and one on the other. If a tiger broke a stick over there, you'd hear it more in this ear, so you'd turn your head because you'd know what direction it's in. But it's actually hallucination. And so what's happening here is there's a steady play of where the music is coming from, in the sense that as this side goes up, this side goes down, and then it reverses. This side goes down, this side goes down, and this side goes up. And it does it like this, and it goes back and forth. So it sounds like the music is moving from left to right. It's not really moving from left to right. It's an actual hallucination created in your brain. Now, so what's happening is we have two instruments that go left to right as one instrument goes from right to left. So cool, such a unique effect, and again, heard in plenty of soundtracks, but there's not a single soundtrack I can point to before 1993 where we hear this use of the stereo image to create a discombobulating effect. Really cool. All right, let's keep it cooking with Untitled. Someone ran out of gas. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Blues again. 5-4 to 1. Oh my gosh. It's like every track we're finding a gem of something. So what we hear in Untitled is this totally unique idea of taking what we could call, you mute the guitar strings, and you get this sound. That's used in rock and punk. So this is not an uncommon technique for the time. What is so cool is then to take that same idea of can't do it right. Anyway, we have that first is a MIDI representation of these muted strings, but then taking that muted idea and turning it into a string section, playing a Jimi Hendrix chord over what was previously established as a minor harmony. So it's like, it's so cool. Like, that's really, really cool. Like, I wish I thought of that. Sometimes we listen to these soundtracks, I'm like, man, I wish I thought that is such a cool idea. That is so cool. I see you guys saying, I wonder if he knows. Does he know? Do I know what? Tell me, chat. Tell me. Tell me about that. Tell me. Tell me, what do I know? We'll check in you on Donna to the rescue to see what I know or may not know. Let me know. I'm not afraid of spoilers. You can spoil it for me. Is that the Mouth of War? Oh, that is Pantera, right? Ooh, yeah, Mouth of War. Okay. That's from that. And I just want to take a quick moment to address a question. Stellan O. Valuna says, how do you know it's going to blow your mind before you've listened? I just put that as the title because I've never not had my mind blown by a soundtrack. But I just put it, and then it's the title. Is it because someone told you it's super good, or someone really good taste who you trust? No. It just, I am confident at this point from listening to hundreds of soundtracks on this channel that my mind will be blown because I love music. And music always blows my mind. So, there you go. Oh, so is that a fact? So, all right, guys. Is Untitled actually a Pantera? What? Okay. Mouth of War. When was Mouth of War released? Someone help me here. All right. Mouth of War release date. When was that out? I put Mouth of Ear. Mouth of War Pantera. Oh, February 25th, 1992. Guys, I think we may have a Pantera reference here in Untitled. Wow. Later physical single release September 1992. Wow, wow, wow. Huh. But it's like, to take the Pantera, the muted guitar strings, it's like, okay. But then to take that Pantera idea and put it into a string section? Wild. Wild stuff, man. Shout out to Metal Music, got me through 11th and part of 12th grade. Respect. All right, let's check out Deep Into the Code. Sounds like something Pantera would do. That was like the most metal tune we've heard so far. And I saw people in the chat saying, clearly Slayer. I must confess, in my metal journeys, Slayer never really clicked with me. And it's nothing they did. It was a me thing, not a them thing. I recognize it's incredible music. They're incredible musicians. I don't know. It was one step too dark for me, I think. Whereas like Pantera on the way to school would kind of amp you up. Metallica, Metallica's metal, but it's not like Pantera metal. It's not that. Yeah, it's not that. There's like a danger vibe I get with like Slayer, and with Pantera. There's like it speaks danger into my nervous system in a way Metallica and Alice in Chains speaks sort of like depression into my nervous system. But that's neither here nor there. But like, yeah, just one step too dark for me. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell me your first time you ever heard Metallica. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. The first time you ever heard Slayer. Chat comments. I want to know where you're at now with it. Tell me about your metal journey. All right, let's keep it going. I'm finding, much like the Mick Gordon Doom soundtracks, it is just beating me over the head to the point that I'm now just like, it's amazing. It's just like in this totally surrendered metal state where it's like, it just beats you and beats you and beats you. Heavy metal. Let's check out the last tune of this soundtrack, Sweet Little Dead Bunny. Dude, what the actual? There we go. There we go. Now that's some Jimi Hendrix. All right, can I be honest with you? Speaking personally, that was one of my favorite tracks of the whole soundtrack. That was so fun. It started off total seemingly non sequitur of what sounds like a sweet little bunny and then turns into, this rabbit's got teeth. It can jump. It's no ordinary rabbit. Was the vibes I was getting by the end there. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's do this. We're going to listen to... If we were to listen to a bonus track, what would we listen to? Let's check out this one. Oh, this is like a remix. Check this one out. For whom the bell tolls. Dun, 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 double, digga, digga, digga. Alright, maybe one more to play us out. I get the vibe of this. We'll go this one. Play us out. I saw the demons. Interesting taking that up an octave. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this stream. We're gonna let this play out and then we're gonna be done. If you want to create your own music, grab your roadmap. Links are in the description and in the pinned comment and in the pinned chat as well there, right here. Grab your roadmap. We'll let this play out and then we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for joining me on this. I'll see you in the next one.